and welcome to ET Auto. As we are entering the last month of 2023, a year which has seen good momentum in the auto industry. Now we have just wrapped up the month of November, which was also a critical month in terms of auto sales getting stable in various segments. While the passenger vehicle has been recording good sales, there were concerns about two-wheelers and certain concerns about the commercial vehicles and the tractors as well. So now that the festive season is over, let's get through the trends and insights and what happened during the last month of November 2023. So we have with us Mr. Arun Malhotra, our industry expert, to take us through what all happened in the auto industry during the last month. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
So we have seen sales momentum being good during the month of November. So it said that till the festive season, the demand, the retail was good, but post the festive season, as expected, as it is every year, it has gone down a little bit. So could you take us through various segments, how it was for passenger vehicle, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and commercial vehicles as well?
So if I look at various segments, the superstar has been three-wheelers. And they've clocked something, if you look at the festival season, around 40% growth in retail terms. Next would be two-wheelers, which have been passing through a challenging time, but this time the growth is good. And in the festival season, the growth was 21%. We'll get to the numbers later. Passenger vehicles, it is okay, but not something very great, about 8 to 10% growth. And we have had challenges, commercial vehicles being more of a flat, and tractors is some sort of decline. So every segment has behaved differently. It's not a uniform playing field for all the segments. Three-wheelers 40%, tractors on a decline. That's the way the industry is.
Yeah, passenger vehicles clocked about a single-digit growth, in November as compared to the last month. But the wholesales were down compared to October. I mean, because of the festive trend and everything, festive demand anticipation. So, what do you think were the top highlights in the passenger vehicle segment for the month of November?
So passenger vehicle, if you look at, FAD had released its figures for the festival season, they've shown a growth of 10%. But if ideally I put it, last year there were production constraints. This year there was 99%, there was no availability constraint. So effectively, with all models being available, waiting lists come down, there is not much of a growth. And surprisingly, even at the end of the festival season, the stocks that the dealerships are carrying are between 4 to 6 weeks. Averagely, I'll put it 5 weeks, which is high. After the end of the festival season, it doesn't happen. It's happening after many years. So clearly, the pent-up demand which was there has been fulfilled to a large extent in the last 3 4 months. And the retails are okay, good, but nothing spectacular. So we are in more challenging times because people have raised their productions also. And, and with waiting lists being out, there will be challenging times for passenger vehicles in the months to come.
Yeah, and going to the two-wheelers, two-wheeler momentum, since the second wave of COVID, two-wheelers had been going down, and we were really expecting a recovery in two-wheelers, waiting for that. Now, for the month of November, there has been a positive cheer in the segment. So, what do you see across the two-wheeler segment, like entry level and the premium as well?
So two-wheelers, surprisingly, very good set of numbers for the month of November. The dispatches to dealers is to the tune of 16 lakhs. But if you look at Vahan data and some states which are not covered in it, it is about 22 lakhs. So effectively, 22 lakhs has been the retail, which is, I think, one of the best numbers in the last 2 3 years. And stocks have also come down. And I think the one big thing which has been driving is the momentum which has come on rural sales, which has been lower. Maybe due to festivals, marriages, some more earnings, but that's something which has positively driven it. So good times for two-wheelers is concerned, and good numbers, and stocks are also low. As far as the various segments are concerned, I still believe the entry-level segment still there are challenges. Although there would have been a spurt in November. Overall, that 125C segment, 150C segment, the scooter segment, they are all doing well. But at the real entry level, there is still pressure points. But having said that, they also have done well.
Yeah.
So I think effectively all major manufacturers in two-wheelers have done well. So it's a cause of satisfaction, which was not the case in the last few months. And for the first time, we are talking of a two-wheelers doing dramatically better than four-wheelers.
Yeah, so the improvement has happened. We are on the growth path, but we have not reached the recovery yet.
We are in recovery phase also, but we're not in that peak recovery phase in the
It has
sense
not
that
fully recovered.
the
Yeah.
base figure is so high of 2018-19 of 21 billion. So that's something which is slightly challenging one to
Right.
reach.
Now getting on to the favorite topic of everybody, electric vehicles. So recently there has been a lot of talk about global EV makers like Tesla and VinFast entering the country. But then what is the status of the electric passenger vehicles right now in India? We know there's a mass market electric cars and there are premium electric cars. The customers are different, the price range is different, the vehicle range are different. So how do you see the market right now?
So, it's a tale of two cities as far as electric vehicles concerned. I think two-wheelers are gaining momentum back. They had challenges where the fame benefit went down. So they're doing well, but we'll come to two-wheelers later. But passenger vehicles, they are more or less stagnant for the last 6 months. Their penetration percentage, their numbers are not growing, in spite of so many manufacturers being in the field. Although most of the manufacturers in the field are in luxury cars. So that's a challenge area. And I think the challenge arises from two reasons. One is clearly that the fame benefit which you get for two-wheelers or three-wheelers is not applicable for passenger vehicles, only applicable for taxis. So 90% of the segment doesn't have fame benefit. The second part is the growth of alternative fuels. Look at CNG, it's growing well. Look at hybrid, just present in two companies, but still the volumes are more than all the electric vehicles sold. And then we are talking of flex fuels and other areas. So that's one part of the competition. Second, we must understand even today the GST is 5%, although we're not doing the fame benefit. So passenger vehicles is challenging times. Tesla when fast is coming, that's all right. But the way things have been moving the last 6 7 months, nothing great to cheer about, unless there's some real breakthrough in technology, price, and the entire concept of charging infrastructure. Passenger EVs will have a challenging time to go up from this 2% penetration to at least a double digit penetration.
Yeah. Do you
And
see
as far
this?
as two wheelers is
Hmm.
concerned, things are much better. It went down. 90 95,000 vehicle sales last month is a good number. So that is somewhat gaining ground. It's
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah, even after subsidy reduction, the sales have not dropped
Absolutely.
dramatically in two-wheelers. But for the passenger vehicle, electric vehicles, do you see the same kind of thing happening in the mass market and premium segment, both going forward? Or do you see, premium taking the lead or any kind of
See,
specific
premium,
challenge?
even if it takes the lead, the volumes are so small, they won't make a difference. So ultimately, there has to be action more at the mass end. And when I say mass end, it has to be below 50, 18, 20 lakhs. Because anything on 50, 60 lakhs may look very attractive on paper, but it doesn't contribute volumes. So there probably more manufacturers might enter. But this equation of this alternative fuels and then this fame benefit and then always the sword hanging that there could be a reduction, increase in the GST,
Hmm.
that is the point of action.
Yeah.
So it is in the short term, it is very challenging times.
Hmm, right. And now going forward, the last month of the year, how do you see December panning out? Probably because recently, a few car makers have already announced price hikes from January. I mean, it happens every year, but January bringing up price hikes. Do you see this impacting, the vehicle sales or the customer demand or any kind of situation there?
So one side, manufacturers have announced price hikes from January, which is a normal occurrence.
Hmm.
But the second part, which is more important, is since stocks in passenger vehicles are higher, and that even more in hatchbacks and sedans. Probably SUVs are relatively better. You'll find a lot of attractive, aggressive schemes. So we had this Black Friday in other products. I'm not saying it's going to be a Black December for passenger vehicles, but there will be good schemes. So that's just a point of reference which is being said. But there will be good sales in December, but it has to be driven by phenomenal promotions or attractive discounts.
Hmm.
That's the way I look at it because dealers also would like to reduce their stocks because the year end model is also there and they're carrying high stocks. Plus, some companies might have also production shutdowns, which and it serves both the purpose. It helps in improving the product productivity, but also helps in reducing production and finally stock.
Yes.
So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think it will also, help the customers who are sitting on the fence for looking and buying the cars right now,
That's right.
and the OEMs and dealers to reduce the inventory. So it will go
That's right.
both ways, right? And one topic that I want to touch upon for this month is, we have heard a lot about subscription and leasing models globally. In many countries they're
Mm.
working really well. So a lot of expats are there who buy, who get cars for a short period of time and go for subscription models. There are also OEMs and separate private companies who have brought about subscription and leasing models in India as well. A few years back, probably, but how have they progressed? How do you see the progress of this model in India? I mean, there are challenges, but if you could just take us through, what are the specific challenges pertaining to India?
So let's look at leasing and subscription separately. Leasing has been in the country for more than 10-15 years. And there are two types of lease: operating lease and financial lease. Operating lease is where the leasing company does it on his books. Financial lease is where the company gives it to his employees, puts it on his books. Somehow the numbers are there, but they are not to a sizable number. And the challenge is that most of this is followed at the slightly higher end of the price range. And some companies, they also have challenges. People shift companies. So effectively, it is there, leasing, but it's not having that desired impact. And then you can't do individual leasing in India. Suppose you're a self-sole proprietorship or a or a company. So leasing as such exists, but that sharp momentum which is to get is not getting. And I think the another challenge is the residual value still being seen has to be of a much a different value, because today the rentals, because of the residual value, are still much higher. So that's a problem as far as leasing is concerned. It's there, but it's not growing to what it was expected, what in world markets.
Right.
As far as subscription is concerned, this concept is slightly more new. And the whole idea was that you take the vehicle for a shorter duration and use it and you can get out of it. But somehow I think in India, one of the challenges is that people still, the pride of ownership or pride of owning a vehicle in your own name is still very high.
Hmm.
And that is, you can say, proves a stumbling block in the concept of subscription taking place. Plus, since the volumes are still low, hardly 800,000 vehicles are sold in subscription model in a month, which is in minuscule percentage. So effectively, the rates also being offered in subscription are fairly high. So effectively, it's a chicken and egg story. So subscription is not getting anywhere at this point of time. Leasing is still there, but not going to the momentum. And probably it has to be done at a lower price point. The lease rentals have to become more attractive, and that can over. But a lot of employees want to buy it on their own flexibility. The subscription leasing model has, you have to go through a lot of formalities, and then if you leave a company or you leave vehicle, either you buy it out or you have to forego it out. So these are challenging times. But I think these are two trends to watch. What has happened abroad, India, it will take time.
Yeah, India being a independent, separate,
Mm.
specific market has its own specific
Challenge.
challenges, right? So going forward, I believe a little depends on the December volumes here, but the overall industry volumes are expected to cross above 4
That's right.
million right now this year. So yeah, hoping for the best, and thank you for being with
Thank
us
you.
today. Thank you for watching ET Auto, and stay tuned for further updates.
Thank you.